Hi, I'm Oliver, and you're awesome. And together, we're Oliver's Awesome Art Class. Let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Oliver's Awesome Art Class. This is episode number 2, Shapes and Shades. Shading some shapes. Shapes and shades. Say that 3 times fast. Shapes and shades, shapes and shades, shapes and shades. That was pretty good. Yours was better than mine. So in order to get this show on the road, we're going to need today's doodle sheet. Where is the doodle sheet? My assistant should have had it here by now. What could be taking him so long?
I'm coming. Give me a moment. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce you to my office assistant, Nigel.
There you are. Every day it's the same thing. Bring me my tea. Bring me my lesson plan. I don't see any room for advancement at this job.
He's really nice once you get to know him. Thank you, Nigel. Anyway, shapes and shades. Dig it. So we've got a triangle, and we have a square, and we have a circle. Or we could have an ice cream cone, or a piece of pizza, and a block of cheese, and a whole pizza. Can you tell I'm hungry? Next line, we've got what looks like a pyramid. So that's kind of like 3D, huh? And then next to that is the square again, but it's different. That looks 3D too. Well, then the circle looks the same, but I have a feeling we'll be able to work on that. And then at the bottom, all of those shapes are together. I wonder what that means. Let's find out. Okay, we got our pencil. And today we're going to go over something called stippling, first off. Now, you'll be able to tell why it's called that in a couple of seconds. Because it's just dots. Dots all day. Dots all day. Teeny little dots, one at a time. That's all it is. It's very relaxing, although it can maybe make your hand ache a little if you're not used to it. But it is a very cool way to shade things. And when we're making these shapes, I think shading them should be equally interesting. Although this is a triangle, it's not that interesting. But I was thinking earlier about how hungry I was. So now I think I am actually going to go with the slice of pizza. Now you'll see I'm doing the dots closer to the edges. The dots are closer together as they get closer to the edges. That makes it look like it's a little farther away. And I think this is a pepperoni pizza. Very nice. Good to have the pepperoni. I like pepperoni personally. And then stipple, 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 stipple. Little bitty dots everywhere. And you see that the one teeny little dot, when he gets hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of his friends together, look at that. Suddenly, you've got a stippled piece of pizza. Very nice. Okay. Now, for this second shape, I didn't know what to do. It could be a bird cage, it could be a house, it could be a present, it could be a professional wrestling ring. I felt like maybe somebody left the heat on. And they had, what do we like? Ice cream. That's right. It had some ice cream on top of this. Maybe it's a computer or a radiator. Someplace you shouldn't leave stuff that melts. That's what this looks like. or is just hot. Just hot and sweaty. Nice and even, dot, 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 stipple, 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 stipple. I don't know who named it stippling, but they were right on. Stipple, stipple, stipple. Okay, now you'll notice the closer the dots, again, the darker it gets. So you can just make it look like it's at a whole nother level just by putting all those little dots together. Stipple, stipple. What's going on? Oh, it's drippy now. Somebody crank the heat. Uh-oh. That's going to be a pretty big heating bill. This box is just melting. Looks like trees in Oz. Stipple all day long. And again, your hand can get hurting when you do stuff like this. So take your time. If your hand aches, it's not a big deal. This is not a race. This is more muscle memory. And you just want to try to make some shades in there. Okay. Now, let's do a sphere. I was going to go with pizza, but I decided sphere is better. So you're going to need a point of light. Where's the light coming from? How about you? You are the point of light. So we're going to put the brightest part, the shiniest bit, right in the center. And then, remember, the closer the dots, the darker it becomes, the farther away it appears. So if the center is the lightest, the edges are the darkest, and all you have to do is just stipple, 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 stipple. It's a very good exercise. It's very calming. And that is shading. Look at that. See how the edges look farther away now? And it gets less dense towards the center. And that makes it look lighter. Very good. Fill it in nicely. And just take your time, nice and even. Very cool. And you know what? You could keep going. I could make little darker circles like the pepperonis on the pizza, and I could make that into a moon if I felt like it. Speaking of which, we are going to work on brightness and shade and why shade works the way it does. But first, I had to get a sun out of the way. I decided I was going to turn this guy into my light source. Now, if the sun is coming from that direction, and that is a cube, now it's not just a flat thing with drips all over it, now it's a cube, and I cannot help but continue to doodle this guy. He needs little balloony dots on him. Which side do you think the sun is going to shine the brightest on? Towards him or away from him? That's right, towards him. So away from him is going to be shaded. Now this is called hatching. Lines that are close together. See? Now if you go across that, they call it cross hatching. But it's all hatching. It's spelled the same way as chickens hatching eggs. And this again is just another way to make shade. Line, 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 line. And then you go cross, 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 back and forth until you fill it up. And they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it super even. Again, this is muscle memory. Your hand just gets used to it. It's like walking or whistling. Hatch, 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 hatch. See? Make little X's. X, 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 X. Cross hatching. But see, that's the difference. The bright side, suddenly you have a cube. You had just 2 boxes. Now you have a cube. And a big old happy sun. Now this same thing. You've got your pyramid. And you just hatch, 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 hatch away. And look at that. Now it is a pyramid. Now it's 3D. Just an easy way to make it look 3D. And again, that's cross hatching. We know what that is, don't we? It's time for a visit from Knock Knock Neighbor.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ice cream.
Ice cream who?
I scream every time I see a spider.
Thank you, Knock Knock Neighbor. Okay. He's my neighbor. He stops by occasionally. He's got the great jokes. So, we are going to examine our third style of shading. And that, friends, is blending. Now you notice I'm just using my pencil very, very light, and then I'm using my fingertip. I'm using the edge of my pencil to get that big, wide, soft color, and then I'm blending. And remember the point of light. I'm just going to use that sun up there for now, just for a reference point. There are rules, but that really doesn't, that we don't need that right now. I just want you to blend away and wash your hands, and don't touch your sister's hair with dirty hands, or eat food, or don't wipe them on your clothes. You have to remember that your fingers are gross after you do this. But that's why this is my favorite, because it's messy. Make it a little darker the farther away it is. Every panel, every little section, I want you to try to explore with a different shade. It doesn't have to be 3D. This is not exactly what you have to do, but it's just a cool exercise. I like the blending. It's all soft like that. It's nice. Yeah. Very nice. Blended. And I think that's about it for today. Did you enjoy it? I hope you did. Say goodbye, Nigel.
Goodbye, Nigel.
We had a visit from Knock Knock Neighbor, which was kind of cool. That was a silly joke. So thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you next Sunday. Once again, this is Oliver's Awesome Art Class. I'm Oliver. You're awesome. I'll see you next time.